It's October 26, 1909. We are at the Harbin railway station in Manchuria, now under Russian control. 3 gunshots are heard. A high-ranking Japanese statesman is shot and killed. 3 more shots are fired, injuring other Japanese dignitaries. A loud shout is heard. "Korea! Hurrah!" The man who was shot is Ito Hirobumi. The shooter is Ahn Jung-geun. Why did this happen? Let's look at An Jung-geun's life and what led him to assassinate a powerful Japanese statesman. Ahn Jung-geun was born in 1879 in Haeju, Korea. Korea at the time was known as the Kingdom of Joseon. His mother was Jo Maria, and his father was An Tae-hun from the Sun-hung An clan. He could trace back his ancestry to An Hyang, a Confucian scholar considered the founder of Neo-Confucianism in Korea. His grandfather, An In-soo, was a wealthy landowner. His childhood nickname was An Eung-chil because he was born with 7 moles on his back, corresponding to the Big Dipper. As a young boy, he was very interested in martial arts, horseback riding, hunting, and archery. He studied Chinese literature and Western sciences. His father was involved in suppressing the Donghak peasant movement. In 1894, at the age of 16, Ahn Jung-geun married Kim Ah-ryo. They had 2 sons and 1 daughter together. Ahn Jung-geun was baptized at the age of 19. He took the baptismal name of Thomas from Nicholas Wilhelm, a Catholic priest from Alsace, France. The rest of his family was baptized as well. Ahn Jung-geun studied French for a little while. In April of 1904, him and his father were embroiled in a diplomatic incident with a Qing dynasty doctor, but it's not clear what happened with this. In 1905, Ahn Jung-geun's father died. I think now's the right time for a quick Korean history refresher. Japan signed a treaty with Joseon in 1876, which opened Korea to Japan's influence. In 1897, Joseon became the Korean Empire, as Gojong declared himself emperor and thus cut Korea's status as vassal state of China. In 1905, Korea signed the Eulsa Treaty, which made Korea a protectorate of Imperial Japan. Korea lost its diplomatic sovereignty. This was the result of Japan winning the Russo-Japanese War. At that time, both empires wanted to expand, and Korea was up for grabs, according to both powers. Japan's influence and power gradually increased with time until Japan annexed Korea in its empire in 1910. Now let's talk a little bit about Ito Hirobumi. He was born in a poor family during the Edo period. His original name was Hayashi Risuke. He was later adopted by a family of samurai, and because of this, his father and him rose to the samurai class. He joined a group called the Choshu Five, the first Japanese group to go abroad. Their first trip was to London to learn about the ways of the Western powers. He later went to the United States and many European cities. He became the first Prime Minister of Japan in 1885. He served 4 terms. In November of 1905, he became the Resident General of Korea. It is said that he was for Korea becoming a protectorate of Japan, but he actually opposed the annexation of Korea to Japan. Now back to 1905. An Jung-geun was, like many Koreans at the time, disappointed with the signing of the Eulsa Treaty. He went to Shanghai to campaign for the restoration of Korea's national sovereignty and joined an independence movement. In China, he met Father Legak. He came back to Korea and joined the Patriotic Enlightenment movement. He took over the Nampo Don-ui Catholic School and established the Samhung School. Both were located in Jinnampo. He wanted to save his nation through education. In a calligraphic work of his, he wrote, "Those who are diligent and fond of learning are not ashamed to seek advice from their inferiors." Here's another work he wrote on education. "A single lesson for your children is worth more than 1,000,000 ounces of gold." In 1907, An Jung-geun joined the Righteous Army, a voluntary civilian militia. These types of groups often appeared throughout Korean history, like for example during the Mongol invasions and the Imjin War. In 1907, Emperor Go-jong was forced to abdicate under the directive of Ito Hirobumi, the Resident General of Korea. I have talked in more detail about this event in my video on the end of the Korean Empire. That same year, Ahn Jung-geun went to Vladivostok and joined the Righteous Army group operating there and in the Primorsky Krai region. He led men in the North Hamgyong province, and he engaged in guerrilla warfare with Japanese troops. He had a certain amount of success until him and his group was ambushed and suffered a crushing defeat. In 1909, Ahn Jung-geun formed the Don-ui Danji Hue with 11 comrades. Ahn Jung-geun cut off a part of his ring finger on his left hand to show his comrades his resolve in making Korea independent again. His handprint is recognized all over Korea. At some time in October of 1909, Ahn Jung-geun learned from a journalist that Ito Hirobumi was scheduled to meet with the Russian Empire Minister of Finance Vladimir Kokostoy in Harbin. Ahn Jung-geun and his fellow patriots Woo Dok-sun, Jo Do-sun, and Yu Dong-ha formed a pact to assassinate Ito Hirobumi. Ahn Jung-geun arrived in Harbin on October 21st. 5 days later, on October 26th, Ito Hirobumi's train arrived at around 9 a.m. He had a talk with the Russian minister on the train. He disembarked at 9:30 a.m. to receive a Russian military escort. Ahn Jung-geun was there, and he dashed towards Ito Hirobumi, shooting him 3 times with a Browning M1900 pistol. He also shot and injured 3 Japanese ministers. Ito Hirobumi died shortly after the shooting. Ahn Jung-geun took out the small Korean flag that he was carrying and shouted 3 times, "Korea, hurrah!" Ahn Jung-geun was arrested and detained briefly by Russians before being handed over to the Japanese Consulate General in Harbin. This event is remembered in Korea as the Patriotic Deed in Harbin. He was imprisoned in the Ryojun prison in the Liaodong Peninsula in present-day Lushun, China. That territory was under Japanese control at the time. There was a trial. Lawyers originally offered to defend him, but it was blocked by the Japanese authorities, who assigned him Japanese lawyers. Ahn Jung-geun insisted he did nothing wrong. He claimed to be a lieutenant general of the Korean Resistance Army and demanded to be treated as a prisoner of war. Ahn Jung-geun put forward 15 offenses that he believed Ito Hirobumi had committed in Korea. The obvious reasons, like forcing unequal treaties on Korea, killing Empress Myeongsong, and usurping the Korean government, were given. But he also said that he killed Ito Hirobumi because he deceived Emperor Meiji by telling him that the relations between Korea and Japan were peaceful and stating that Ito Hirobumi killed Emperor Komei, the father of Emperor Meiji. There is no evidence of that, but to this day, Emperor Komei's death is seen as a little suspicious. An Jung-geun said in his trial that Ito Hirobumi disturbed the peace in East Asia. An Jung-geun wished for a more peaceful and equal relationship between Korea and Japan, something that could be used as a model for all nations to follow. Two of Ahn Jung-geun's brothers, Ahn Jung-geun and Ahn Jung-keun, came to meet him in prison. He asked their mother to forgive him of his sins and asked that his eldest son be raised to become a Catholic priest. He urged his brothers to restore the sovereignty of Korea. His brothers brought with them a white silk hanbok that their mother made for his execution. On February 14, 1910, An Jung-geun was sentenced to death. He sent a telegram to Bishop Gustave Charles-Marie Mutel requesting a priest to be sent. The bishop refused because An Jung-geun had committed murder. Father Nicholas Wilhelm disobeyed the bishop's order and went to meet An Jung-geun. They celebrated Mass on March 10, 1910. An Jung-geun was hanged on March 26, 1910. He was 32 years old. A couple of months later, on August 29th, Korea would be annexed into the Japanese Empire. His brothers demanded that his body be repatriated to Korea, but the Japanese refused. They buried him near the prison, but his body was never found. The Japanese thought that his body would be a catalyst for the Korean independence movement. An Jung-geun was a Pan-Asian advocate, a belief in the union of the three great countries of East Asia, China, Korea, and Japan, to fight off Western imperialism. He wrote an unfinished essay titled On Peace in East Asia. He wrote, "The situation in the East is foreboding. Young men of purpose, how can you sleep peacefully? My righteous anger burns because peace does not reign in our country, and it will be a pity if this wicked policy is not set right." He calls on Japan to change its aggressive behavior towards its neighbors. His calligraphy gained renown even by Japanese guard while he was in prison. A famous work of his reads, "Unless one reads every day, thorns grow in the mouth." Another one is simply called Independence. In a text he left, An Jung-geun writes, "I will continue striving for the restoration of our national sovereignty without fail, even after I go to heaven." On the same month he was hanged, An Jung-geun wrote, "Even if a heroic man faces death, his mind is as hard as iron. Even if a righteous man faces danger, his spirit is as high as the clouds." On March 1st of 1962, An Jung-geun was posthumously awarded the Order of Merit for the foundation of the Republic of Korea. Many films and plays were made about An Jung-geun. He's a very popular historical figure in both Koreas and even China. He wrote his autobiography in jail titled The History of Ahn Jung-keun. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, leave a comment, and subscribe. You can also join my channel. I will see you again soon for another video on the rich history of Korea.